Tuesday night baseball here at J.J. Isaacson Field at Seymour Smith Park for some Corn Belt League action as the 9-10-1 Filth Ballers take on the 8-12-1 Red Raiders. Welcome you into the booth. My name is Arnav Pokhrel. I'm joined here by Mike Knockenhauer today. Mike, we've got a good game on tap today, and it's getting to that point of the season where it's the end of the season, and teams are slowly picking up their pace as they head toward the playoffs, single elimination playoffs. What are you looking to see out of these two teams today as they go ahead towards the end-all, be-all in the playoffs?
Yeah, the Filth Ballers got off to a great start off this season, and lately it's been a bit of a struggle for them. But on the other side, it's a completely different story. Red Raiders started off the season a little slow, and they've now started to work their way up. But if you can see the standings here, it's a very tight race across the entire league. Blue Dogs have a 3.5-game lead, but everyone else is pretty close in the standings, so it's really going to be interesting coming down to the last week of the season.
Yeah, really different from last year when we saw the Filth Ballers kind of run away with things early on in the season. They had Coach Hobbs in that star-studded Filth Ballers lineup taking the crown pretty early on in the season, but we'll see how things go in this one. It's going to be the Red Raiders leading us off against the Filth Ballers in the top of the first. Up first for the Red Raiders is Schubert, the first baseman. J.J. Schubert on the year, 31 plate appearances, has 5 hits. And he'll take the first pitch for a strike. He's also drawn 7 walks, only struck out 5 times this season. Batting average of .227 for the first baseman. Pitch well inside. It'll hit the dirt, so it'll be a 1-1 count for Schubert.
You take a look at the starting pitcher now for the Filth Ballers. Will be Mr. Lyndon Brugman on the mound tonight. It's going to be his 4th start of the season. 10 innings pitched, 7.2 ERA, 2 WHIP, and just about the same amount of strikeouts and walks.
Yeah, and talking to Coach Francisco before the game, Brugman's not a player that you've seen pitch too much. Only 10 innings throughout this whole entire season, but really it's just been injuries that have killed this Filth Baller team. The plan for tonight, as Coach Francisco said, ride Brugman as long as possible, see how long he can go, see how long his stamina lasts. As there's a shot to third base, it's fielded cleanly by Rivers, and a throw over to first is in time for the first out of the game.
That's always a good thing. If you're the starting pitcher, that first out always feels like it's kind of a weight off of your shoulders, so that's great if you're Brugman to get that first out of the game out quickly.
Yeah, not a poorly hit ball there from Schubert, but it's right to the third baseman, Rivers, who makes the play, and it'll bring up Spees, the left fielder.
Blair Spees, usually the leadoff guy for this Red Raiders team, but in the 2-hole today behind Schubert. So interesting to see what he can do after the grind out to third to start things off.
So Spees will step back into the batter's box with a count 1-0. Brugman gets the first out, a 5-3 ground out.
Spees with 15 hits on the year. That's tied for second most on the team, so you can see why he's usually up there and higher in the lineup.
And he's kind of got that build of one of the standout players last year in the Corn Belt League. He looks kind of like Danny Spongberg out there, skinnier player with a lot of speed, and once he gets contact, he can get around the bases pretty quickly.
Yeah, he's got a lot of speed out there in center field and fairly easy. He steals a lot of bases. This Red Raiders team steals more bases than anyone else in this entire league, so it's always dangerous whenever they get on.
This one popped up into shallow center field, and it's fielded cleanly by Hillis for the second out. So once again, contact on the ball, but it's weak contact for the Red Raiders, and it'll bring up Jackson, the second baseman for the Red Raiders.
Yeah,
Braden Jackson.
Sorry, that's my bad. But that's the best kind of contact if you're a pitcher, is those jam shots inside that just make nice little easy pop-outs to your infielders that not high stress, and just nice, easy, open the glove, catch it, move on, another out.
Jackson on the season hitting .349. Has 15 hits on 43 at-bats. So another high-volume hitter for the Red Raiders in the 3-hole. Big swing and a miss there for strike 1, so the count sits at 1-1.
Jackson with a .349 average, as you said. It looks like that to be the tops on the team, so it's the reason he's hitting there in the 3-hole.
Yeah, a lot of good contact here for Braden Jackson as he watches another pitch go by. It's a fastball down and away. So it's 2-1 the count. as Brugman lines up with 2 outs and no one on for the Red Raiders. Another pitch. This one's in there for a strike. Little curveball from the pitcher, Brugman. Laid that one in there, and you had to think that that was a red light for Jackson try and draw a 3-1 count to swing on. Instead, it's 2-2. Here's the 2-2 with 2 outs. Well up and inside for a full count.
Yeah, if you're the Red Raiders, these early innings are going to be crucial. As you said, the Filth Ballers manager was saying that the stamina of Brugman is going to play a big factor. So if these Red Raiders batters can run the counts up early, it'll be a true factor going later into this game.
Yeah, big thing is quality at bats. Here's a full count pitch, and it's a strike 3 looking. 1-2-3 in the first inning for the Filth Ballers, and it'll bring up the top of the lineup for the Filth Ballers and Larson, Burnett, and Rivers when we return. This is the Corn Belt League Network. We'll have bottom of the first inning when we come back. Back at the bottom of the first inning as the Filth Ballers head to the plate. It's Peyton Larson, the center fielder, going up first against Tyler Spreitzer.
Yeah, Spreitzer on the year, 14 innings pitched. This is his 3rd start, his 6th appearance on the year. He's got an ERA of 5.14 and a whip of 1.71. And his strikeout to walk rate's a 2-to-1, 12 strikeouts to 6 walks on the year.
Yeah, not a bad number there for Spreitzer. He's very confident up there on the mound, has a pretty big frame as well, so a lot of different angles where he can release the ball from today for these Filth Ballers hitters to try and react to. As count sits at 1-1, it's now 1-2 against Larson. Larson, one of the most active hitters on this team for the Filth Ballers, has I believe what is the most plate appearances for this team, maybe second to Carson Burnett, hitting .269 on the year as this one's popped foul. Larson on the year, 5 extra base hits, 4 doubles, 1 triple on 14 hits.
Yeah, this Filth Ballers team with 37 extra base hits on the season.
As there's a strikeout for Spritzer, so he gets the game started with a K. And it'll bring up Carson Burnett, who we just mentioned. Most plate appearances on this team, and Burnett has a batting average of .420. So a very, very good, very efficient hitter for this Filth Ballers team. 21 hits on 50 at-bats, 18 singles. So he hits. He's going to hit for a single. Just try and get it into play. As this one's lifted deep into left field. Running back is Spees, and he'll make the catch for out number 2.
As there's the speed there from Spees, as we were talking about, out there in left today, actually, not in center, but able to get under that ball pretty quickly as it was lifted pretty well from Burnett, but able to get a beat on it, and there's now 2 down in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, pretty quick work here for Spritzer, being efficient with his pitches, and kind of got lucky with that one. Burnett got a good hold of that ball and sent it into left field, but Spees was able to track it and get under. That'll bring up Matthew Rivers, a third baseman. Rivers on the season, .341. He's been hit by pitch more than any other player on this Filth Ballers team. He's been hit by pitch 7 times this year. So he takes that pitch for ball 2. So the count sits 2-0.
Yeah, Rivers 15 for 44 on the year. So the 2-3 hitters for this Filth Ballers squad have a lot of really good numbers on the season.
I'll take the third pitch, but that one's in there for a strike, so count will sit 2-1 for Rivers. Big cut from Rivers. This one's going to be in foul territory. It's in play. And making the catch is the first baseman to retire this side. It's Schubert making the catch, and that'll do the first inning complete. 1, 2, 3 from both sides, and we'll have the second inning when we return here at J.J. Isaacson Field. I'm Arnav Pokhrel, joined by Mike Knockenhauer. We'll have the second inning when we return. Well, it's been 6 up, 6 down so far in this game, and just 12 minutes in, we're already into the second inning between the Filth Ballers and the Red Raiders. It's Steele, Brisbois, and Calhoun up for the away side. And looking at Steele's season batting average, well, it's been pretty good here for Jackson Steele. Jackson Steele hitting .340 for this Red Raiders team. He leads the team in batting average, has 17 hits on 50 at-bats. But he also drives in the runs. He's the only player on this Red Raiders team that is over double digits in RBIs. That's 15 on the year. Drawn 12 walks, but his one issue, his one kryptonite, he does strike out a lot.
That seems to be the problem whenever a lot of guys swing at a lot of pitches. They'll have they'll have a high contact rate, but they'll also have a high strikeout rate, and that seems to be the case here with Nick Shanez.
Steele up against Brugman. He'll swing at the first pitch and hit it foul, and right on cue, as we're talking about guys who have those high swing volumes, swing at just about any pitch that's over the plate. He'll piece the first one foul behind us on the third base side, on the first base side, excuse me. He'll step in for the 0-1. Brugman made quick work of the Red Raiders in the first inning. And this one, a chopper to first, fielded cleanly by Brent, and he'll step on the bag for the first out.
Once again, another one of those little jam shots that create weak contact and some low-stress environments for your infielders or your fielders. And that one just a dribbler down the first base line. First baseman just scooped it up and walked on over to first. Nice, easy put out there.
You got to think this whole Filth Ballers team has not had to run too far yet. All these plays have been made right to them. They'll pop out into shallow center, a 5-3 grounder, and just that one unassisted to first base. It'll bring up Brisboy. Dylan Brisboy, 12 hits on the year, 235 on the average as Brugman gets set for the 1-0. 1-0 is low and outside, so it'll be a 2-0 count upcoming for Brisboy. Brisboy is a little bit more calculated with his pitch swings. He only has 9 strikeouts on the year. He's drawn 15 walks as well and scored 6 runs and drove in 7 as well. So just one of those guys. You have batting in the 5 slot because he can produce, but he's also a smart hitter. You don't want your 5-6 slot hitters to be the big-time hitters that strike out a lot. You want them to get on base. And that's what Brisboy can do for this Red Raiders side. Pitch inside, it's 3-0.
Yeah, those guys that can work the count full, force walks to be drawn on them are just as important as guys who can put the bat on the ball, but in some ways, one can be better than the other. In some situations, obviously, if you need to score, one's going to be better than the other, but if you just need base runners, guys like him are going to be perfect for that.
And he'll rip this one foul, so it'll be a 3-1 count. A swing on a 3-0 count is not something you see very often, but it happened there. Brisboy got the green light and ripped one into the left field foul area. And Brugman will line up here with the 3-1. And Brisboy hits this one to short. Here's Hillis. Fields it cleanly as a throw in time. It's high. It'll be an error, and Brisboy will head over to first. On the error by the shortstop, Hillis.
That ball just, that kind of forced Hillis back deep into the kind of shallow outfield. He had to kind of cock back and make a long throw, but unable to, just overshot his first baseman. That's going to go down as an E6. So our first base runner of the game doesn't even get on for a hit, just comes on from a defensive mishap, but still great stuff from Brugman thus far.
Yeah, no, Brugman's been doing it extremely well for a guy who's only had 10 innings pitched this entire season. And tough for Hillis there as he, like you said, it's a tough play to make, but he did have the step on him and he did have the time. Just the throw was well off, and Brisboy showing run, and he'll get to second with a stolen base. The catcher, Nino, dropping that ball. So no play to be made at second. So Brisboy, the stolen base, will put him in scoring position. And kind of just like we talked about, Mike, just players that can put themselves in good situations.
Absolutely.
You know, Brisboy reaches on the air and then steals second, and now he's in scoring position for Calhoun. Calhoun, the center fielder, 10 hits on 48 at-bats. With showing bunt, he'll pull back and take a strike.
Yeah, it's the 84th stolen base on the season for the Red Raiders team, by far tops in the leagues. And the guy who's up to bat right now has the lead with 19 of his own. So, very dangerous team once they get on the base paths are the Red Raiders.
Here's Calhoun with the 1-1. Brisboy showing steal, shuffling his feet. He'll go. Pitch outside, throw down from the knees of Nino is not there in time. So 2 consecutive stolen bases for Brisboy. Has him at third, 90 feet from an opening run.
He reached first, had 1 stolen base on the season. He's now tripled that, now to 3 stolen bases on the year. Swiping second and then third, and Red Raiders have a run 90 feet away, trying to open this game up with the scoring column.
Calhoun takes a pitch low for 3-1. You got to feel bad for Brugman as well. You're pitching so well. You get the first 4 guys retired, an error by your shortstop, and now 2 stolen bases later. And it's a chance for Calhoun to put the Red Raiders on the board. Here's the 3-1 from Brugman. It's outside. It'll be a walk. So Calhoun will head over. It'll be runners on the corners.
That's what can happen with, even if obviously that was a tough play from Hillis, but unable to make the play, and now it can get in the pitcher's head like if it was supposed to be an out, it's hard to snap back into your headset of, oh, I've just got to keep throwing what I can, as it showed there. He just unable to find the zone, and now there's runners on the corners for the Red Raiders.
Colton Hayes up, batting .200 on the season, and runners on the corners. You expect Calhoun, who already leads the league in steals, to go ahead and swipe second sooner or later, as the first pitch is low for a ball.
Yeah, Brugman is a lefty, so he is going to try and look if Calhoun tries to go early. He's got to be careful over there at first, but if he gets caught in a rundown for between first and second, you got to be careful. There is still a guy on third, so not necessarily the worst thing in the world if you're Calhoun if you get caught up in a pickle, because it could allow your guy at third to score.
Here's the pitch from Brugman, and it's going to be...
Oh, it looks like the batter called timeout.
I was a little confused there, yeah.
Looked like Brugman was planning on going, as you do get 45 degrees from your foot angle, so it looked like he was going to try and step over to first and pick off Calhoun, but unable to because the batter just calling timeout at the right time.
And Calhoun does go, and, we'll let him go to second. So two batters have 3 stolen bases between them already for the Red Raiders. They've just stat padding at this point for the Red Raiders. They already lead the league in steals, and they've just added 3 more in the second inning of a game. But now 2 runners in scoring position for Colton Hayes. And a 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. Low and outside. Good block at the back from Nino to hold the runners at second and third.
Honestly, if you're Brugman, bases loaded wouldn't be necessarily the worst thing in the world, because with Calhoun stealing second, double play ball gets taken out of play. So not necessarily the end of the world if you walk him here, but anything you can to get those last 2 outs.
Here's the 2-1. It's in there for a strike. Good movement on that pitch. Working outside to in on Hayes. Looks like it's trailing on the inside elbow of Hayes, and then it drops in the zone for the strike and the 2-2 count. The 2-2 is low. It'll be a full count for Colton Hayes. Only 1 out so far in the inning. Got Brisboy on third, Calhoun on second for the Red Raiders. Hayes swings and misses, and it's going to be a strikeout for Brugman, his second of the game. And what a crucial strikeout that is to push it to 2 outs and a chance to strand 2 runners on second and third for this Filth Ballers team, as it's Chanez, the third baseman, up for the Red Raiders.
That's just a great pitch from Brugman. It looked like a changeup low or some sort of breaking ball, but just got Hayes to chase something in the dirt, 3-2. Now he just 1 out away from getting out of a jam.
Second strikeout of the game for Brugman. And Chanez up. He'll look at the first pitch outside. Once again, Brugman, getting great movement on these pitches, just missing the zone by a couple inches outside or inside or low. Got lucky with that one where Hayes swung at a pitch that was headed for the dirt. But he'll reload here with 2 outs. Another pitch outside, just missing the corner for 2-0.
He's been trying to paint those corners, and he's just been missing. A lot of these have been good pitches, just a bit outside, and it looks like his catcher, Nino, is going to go out there and try and calm him down.
Yeah, Nino will head out. Talk to Brugman. It hasn't been a bad outing from Brugman so far. And, for a team, a pitching staff that's been as injured as the Filth Ballers have been in these past couple of weeks, you want to try and extend Brugman out as long as possible. And if that means you take more visits to the mound, you try and calm him down a little bit more. Like we were talking about before the game, Coach Francisco just wants to ride Brugman as long as possible. They're short-staffed. They don't really have the arms, and you don't want to start throwing position players to pitch games that are this crucial to playoff standings.
Yeah, Brugman already at 33 pitches, so definitely something you're going to be monitoring if you're the Filth Ballers.
Here's the 34th pitch. It's low again from Brugman for 3-0. Nino will take his time and step out before returning the ball to Brugman. Here's the 3-0. You saw Brisbois swing on a 3-0 earlier on in the inning. We'll see if Shanez does the same. That pitch in there for a strike. So getting back in the strike column is Brugman. But yeah, the pitch count's already racking up. You want to talk about quality at bats. The Red Raiders have done that today. Sure, they don't have the runs to show for it, but they're already working this pitch count up for Brugman. Big cut, did he go? And the ruling is yes, so it'll be another full count here for Brugman on the mound, this time against the third baseman, Shanez. Nick Shanez, 217 on the season, 2 RBIs. A chance to add to that here with 2 runners in scoring position, but a chance for Brugman to get out of a jam. Full count, 2 outs. And here's a payoff for Brugman. It's down low inside, so it'll be a walk. Bases loaded for the Red Raiders, and it'll bring up the designated hitter, Jaden Mache.
Now batting, the designated hitter from Concordia University, number 23, Jaden Mache.
Jaden Mache, not the best numbers on the year. 5 for 29, but if he can put something in the outfield here, or just anything in play, try and force the Filth Ballers to make a mistake again, as they did earlier, that would be huge here with the bases loaded.
Bases loaded for Mache, who has 4 RBIs on the season, as he watches the first pitch go down and inside for ball 1. Once again, 2 outs, bases loaded for the Red Raiders as the score sits 0-0. This one drops in, but it's going to finish just high of the zone, so it'll be 2-0.
Honestly, if you're Mache here, I'm not swinging until I take a strike. Just try and watch the ball in and force Brugman to throw strikes.
This one gets past Nino, and it's going to be a run scored. On the pass ball, wild pitch from Brugman, and 1 run scores, and runners move to second and third for the Red Raiders. So the deadlock is broken in the top of the second inning as Brugman fires a ball wide of Nino, and Brisbois comes in to score. Another pitch inside, and that's going to be 4 consecutive balls to walk Mache. And it'll bring up bottom of the order here in Weiss, the extra hitter.
Looks like Evan Neeson, maybe, over there in the Filth Ballers bullpen, starting to get warm. As manager here from the Filth Ballers, going to come out once again, just try to calm his pitcher down. Still early in the game, a lot of baseball to be played, as he's going to go out there and try to tell his guy, calm it down. Bases are loaded. You're in a jam. But you got 2 outs. Throw something in the zone. Try and force the Red Raiders to make mistakes with the bat. And then, once you get out of this inning, try and make them force them to make mistakes on defense as well. But that's why they play the game, is there's a lot of baseball left. Top of the second, 1-0. If you can hold it to 1 and even 2, if you give up 1 more, not the end of the world. You just got to be careful here if you're Brugman, and try not to give anything. Try and throw any more wild pitches or anything that any sort of passed ball or some sort of mistake that will allow the Red Raiders to try and pounce on this, take advantage of this bases loaded opportunity.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Brugman started off with the first inning. He was lights out,
forcing
a lot of weak contact. But then things kind of fell off here after that first out in the second inning. The error by the shortstop, 2 stolen bases from Brisbois, who eventually just scored that first run. As the first pitch is in the dirt again from Brisbois.
That's a good stop there from Nino, as that doesn't block that. It's another run, but ball in the dirt, just got his body in front of it. So once again, if you're Brugman, you just got to throw strikes. Obviously, it's easier said than done, but it's what you got to have as a mindset here.
And here's a 1-0 from Brugman. It's in the zone. He forces a miss. The throw down to third is wide of the bag. Just a cautionary one to hold Calhoun back at third. But there it is. There's a strike from Brugman. Now he looks to build off of that momentum as it's a 1-1 count with 2 outs, bases loaded for the Red Raiders. Pitch inside and low, so it'll be 2-1. And like we mentioned before, it's kind of the final few games for all of these squads as they head into the playoffs, and a lot of things need to be shored up, a lot of injuries yet to be healed for both sides. As there's another pitch, this one hitting off Nino to get past, and it'll be another run scored for the Red Raiders. That's Calhoun, who reached on a walk, scoring a run for the Red Raiders to make it 2-0.
As you were saying, key to this game is going to be how long Brugman can go, and it's not looking too great thus far. But that error there from Hillis still looms large as what could have been, as that would have been 2 outs with no on, but now we have 2 runs scored and 2 more looking to score here. Brugman in danger of walking another Red Raider batter.
Yeah, 3-1 count for Weiss.
Top of the order, and Schubert coming up on deck as well.
Weiss will walk to first base. Another walk. It's the 3rd consecutive walk for Brugman this inning. It's the 4th walk of the inning. As bases loaded again for top of the order and Schubert. Last time up, he grounded out to third. It was a hard hit ball, but it was just right to the third baseman, Rivers, who made the play.
As we said, Evan Neeson warming up in the Filth Ballers bullpen. Not ideal for the Filth Ballers if you're going to go to your bullpen this early, only on the top of the 2nd.
Yeah, Ethan Neeson, only 9 innings pitched on the season, 1 start, 5 games pitched in. As here's the top of the order in Schubert. First pitch in there for a strike.
We said this top of this Red Raiders lineup can be very dangerous if you give them anything to hit.
Yeah, good mix of power, a good mix of contact, and batting IQ here as the 0-1 is in the dirt for 1-1.
Good mix of speed in there, too, with Blair Spees on deck.
The 1-1 for Schubert. He was up last inning. He had a ground ball to third. But other than that, it's been a pretty effective summer for Schubert. He'll take a pitch high for 2-1. Schubert's got 3 RBIs, 5 runs scored, has a triple and 3 doubles on the season as well. So he can get good contact on the ball. Here's a 2-1, well outside. Trying to catch the pickoff at first. It's a bit of contact between a sliding Mache and Weeze. And Weeze will make it back to first in time, and a run will score for the Red Raiders. That's Shanez making it in for the 3rd run of the inning.
Yeah, Nino was just looking down to first, looking for Brandt to try and catch Weeze off guard over there at first, but just unable to as ball popped away from Brandt and tripped him. Another run comes in to score.
Now Shanez scoring, Mache moving over to third. Weiss will remain at first. And it wasn't a bad idea from Nino. He had Weiss beat.
Yeah, Weiss was almost a third of the way down to second, but throw just a little offline and a bit of unluckiness over there at first for the Filth Ballers.
And there it is, a strikeout looking to end the inning for Brugman, but the damage has been done. 3 runs for the Red Raiders in the top of the 2nd. We'll have the bottom of the inning when we return here on the Corn Belt League Network.
And up for the Filth Ballers.
Consider the deadlock broken. 3-0 the score between the Red Raiders and the Filth Ballers. A big top of the second inning for the Red Raiders, as it'll be Anthony Nino up for the Filth Ballers.
Yeah, just a rough inning there from Brugman. No hits, but 3 runs given up. A lot of walks. Just struggled with his control there in the second inning after a very solid first inning. But interesting to see what the Filth Ballers do pitching-wise going forward in this one. Maybe Brugman comes back out. Maybe we see Neeson with an early bullpen move. But interesting to see. But a lot of game left still. Plenty of time for the Filth Ballers to make a comeback and make this game interesting.
And it's going to be Anthony Nino up in the cleanup spot for the Filth Ballers. He'll hit this one into right field. It's Hayes who's tracking back and making the catch.
Nice diving catch over there and right by Hayes. So that one, if it gets down, most likely going to be extra bases there for Nino, as just over his left shoulder made the diving catch.
Big stop there from Hayes, and it's been unlucky this season for Nino. He's got an average of 186, but you saw it right there. He can hit the ball pretty well.
Yeah, a lot of power in that bat, but that one just snuck in the glove of Hayes, and a great play over there and right.
Going to bring up Tristan Brandt, who's batting .250 on the year, 8 hits on 32 at-bats, and four consecutive retired batters to start this game off for Spreitzer. This one fouled off, back behind us to the third base side. Count sits 1-1 for Brandt. This one hit high into the infield. Chenez tracking under it, and he'll make the catch for the second out of the inning. So it's another batter retired for this Red Raiders lineup.
Yeah, Spreitzer's shined early here, trying the first 5 batters he's seen. So interesting to see what he can do. It'd be a great confidence booster for the Red Raiders if they can put 3 on the board and then go out and put up a 1-2-3 inning and get back out on with the bats out.
This one
quickly.
lifted into left, and it's caught by Spees. So just like you said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the Red Raiders. The first 6 up, the first 6 down, and it's 3-0 as we head to the top of the third inning. We'll be back on the Corn Belt League Network. The sun is beaming down here in Omaha, Nebraska. It's 80 degrees, no wind. It's a beautiful day for some baseball. And it's a new pitcher for the Filth Ballers. Number 18, Ethan Neeson, makes his way to the mound. 9 innings pitched on the season, 5 games played, only 1 start. Has given up 5 earned runs, an ERA of exactly 5. As the first pitch is in, outside for a ball.
So yeah, not ideal if you're the Filth Ballers going to the bullpen early after that rough second inning there from Brugman, but looking to get some quality innings out of Neeson and try to keep this deficit at just 3.
And Neeson, a very effective pitcher. The one stat that really stands out, 15 strikeouts, but he's also given up 12 walks. So just need a little bit of control here for Neeson as he looks to bridge the gap between the Red Raiders and the Filth Ballers. 3-0, all 3 runs scored in the top of the second inning. As here is the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, it's chopped to third. Here's Rivers making the throw across, and it's in time for the first out of the inning.
Good start to the inning, forcing Blair Spees to chop over to third. Just a nice, easy throw across the diamond. It's a good first out there for the Filth Ballers.
Yeah, no, like you said last time, like we said with the first out of the game, really, with Brugman pitching. Anytime you can get that first out of the way, and it's a pretty routine play, helps build your confidence as you look ahead towards the next batters. And this one is the second baseman, Jackson. Braden Jackson coming into this game, .349 hitter. Best on the team, and first time up, strikeout looking. As he watches a pitch in there for a strike, it's 1-1.
Struck out to end that first inning. A backwards K from Brugman.
There's another good pitch there from Neeson, right down the middle for strike 2. So the counts, it's 1-2 for Neeson. That one outside. So 2-2 the count. Braden Jackson, although he leads the team in batting average, he's not first on the team in OPS. He's second, an OPS of 880. So watch another pitch in there, and it's a full count coming up for Neeson and Jackson.
Yeah, Neeson's got to be careful, trying not to walk these batters. As we said, absolute terrors on the base paths, leading the league in stolen bases.
This one sawed off towards the third base foul line, and it'll run into foul territory. Rivers unable to get there in time, and it'll be another opportunity on the full count for both Neeson and Jackson to make something happen. One away in the top of the third inning. 3-0 the difference, all 3 runs in the top of the second inning for the Red Raiders. And it all started with an error by the shortstop, Hillis. Here's the 3-2. In there, up and away, it's going to be ball 4. So heading over to first is Braden Jackson. And you got to hope if you're the Filth Ballers, this isn't the start of another one of these mistakes, walks, kind of everything kind of avalanching all into one.
Yeah, that's the game of baseball, is one little mistake can turn into 3 innings as we saw last inning. And just got to be careful, try and limit those mistakes, not have that happen again.
First pitch swung on for strike 1. Last time up, Steele hit a grounder right to first base and right to where the first baseman Brent was. I'll watch the second pitch low for ball 1. So count will sit 1-1 for Jackson Steele. Once again, Steele leading the team in OPS, 340 on the season coming into today. There's a pickoff over to first, and it's Jackson getting down in time. And Neeson will reset. Runner goes. Good pop time, but the ball is into center field. Runner heading to third. There it is, in there in time. So Jackson, 2 consecutive stolen bases for the second baseman. And if my math is correct, eight stolen bases, if we're including the wild pitches, already for the Red Raiders today. Just incredible. Incredible stuff from the Red Raiders on the base paths, being aggressive, as you saw there, and now it's 90 feet away from another insurance run for the Red Raiders.
One of the biggest parts, one of the most annoying parts of a baseball team is if they're good on running the bases, and the Red Raiders are exceptional at running the bases, as they've once again shown today.
This one sawed off behind home plate and foul. So the count will be 3-2. It's another full count here. As Steele will step back into the box. He's got Braden Jackson on third. Jackson lifts another one foul, so he'll live to fight another pitch.
Does it count if it hits off of a light pole and then the catcher catches it?
I would.
That's what just happened. So
that's interesting. You know, if this was banana ball, maybe, but unfortunately, this is the Corn Belt League, and we're not playing banana ball rules. But yeah, just something you rarely ever see. The ball careened off the foul pole and right back into the glove of Nino. And we'll let Neeson line up another pitch, and this one just missing the outside corner. Thought he got it. Instead, it's another walk, so runners on the corner again in Steele and Jackson for Brisboy.
Yeah, Neeson looking for that outside corner, but home plate umpire said it was just a little too far outside, and runners on the corners once again for the Red Raiders with only one down.
So it's Brisboy last time up. He's the one who kind of started this whole rally off for the Red Raiders. He had a sharp ball into deep. Shallow left field is kind of too far to say, so it was like deep shortstop position. As this one's lifted right to the second baseman, making the catch and the double play. Second baseman over to first on the line out, and then getting the force out at the first base. So just like that, it's no damage done. And Neeson comes in and gets out of a pretty important jam and holds the score 3-0. We'll be right back here on the Corn Belt League Network with the bottom of the third inning. Back in the bottom of the third inning, it's just those 3 runs in the top of the second that are the difference in this one.
What's interesting about that, Arnav, to me is 0 hits from either team, but 3 errors there for the Filth Ballers. So that's been the difference, and the walks. Just the control of the Filth Ballers pitching staffs thus far has been the difference in this one, as Red Raiders haven't been able to get a bat on the ball, but they've also been able to draw walks, draw long at-bats, prolong pitch counts. So it's been really impressive from this Red Raiders lineup thus far.
You know, Mike, I saw that and I was like, it is technically a no-hitter, so I didn't want to say the word. So I kind of shied away from it, but since you said it, I'll go with it. Yes.
I didn't say the word. I just said that neither team has a hit thus far.
It's basically saying the same thing. But as the count sits 2-1 here for Dane Gardner, the second baseman for the Filth Ballers. Plays collegiate ball at Concordia of Nebraska down in Seward, but also another local product, played at Miller North High School.
I think at this point, if it does end up the unspoken word ends up happening, I think it's on both of us. Just to throw that out there.
I will gladly take the credit for that one as Garner rips one into the shortstop territory. He's looking to beat out the throw, and he does. So he'll reach base. It'll be... We'll wait for the ruling here.
We're anxiously waiting. They're going to give it an error, so...
They'll give it an error, so Garner will reach on an error to first base. It'll be chalked as an error to the first baseman, Schubert. And it'll bring up Brendan Hillis. Hillis, the shortstop, he's the one who had the error in the second inning. That kind of led to this whole collapsing train with both the pitcher, Brugman, as well as kind of the rest of the Filth Ballers defense.
It's kind of ironic that Hillis comes up right now because that ground ball to Steele over at short was pretty much the exact same ball that Hillis made an error on, but Steele's throw more on target, but his first baseman Schubert just unable to make the pick.
Garner will make it back to first in time. Good pickoff throw there from Brisboy behind the plate, but good recognition from Garner as well. And you know, with Garner being the Filth Ballers' first base runner, they're going to try and match the aggressiveness here that the Red Raiders have already shown on the base pads. As Hillis steps in for the 2-0. This one lifted high into foul territory, and he'll go behind the plate. So it'll be 2-1.
Another thing that's really interesting, Spritzer, only at 25 pitches thus far through only 2 innings of work. So if you're the Filth Ballers, you're going to be looking to, once again, like prolong the at-bats. Early in the game, you want to be stretching out, fouling pitches off, taking close pitches as much as you can just to try and work the pitch count up, because once you get a fatigued pitcher, that's when you could start going after him with contact and base stealing and stuff like that.
There goes Garner, but it's fouled off. It's a smart swing there from Hillis. That was going to be a strike anyways, so able to piece that one up a little bit, and Garner will have to return to first.
That just looked like Hillis didn't get necessarily the pitch he wanted, but it was a hit and run, so he did have to put a bat on it. So good work from Hillis to stay alive in the at-bat.
Yeah, he was very much behind that one. You kind of saw it when the ball kind of flew off his bat back to his right. But contact is contact, and he'll get another chance here at the 2-2. He'll make contact again. It'll be another foul ball. And Garner will sit at first, and Hillis will step back in for another 2-2 pitch, the third one.
This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat to Hillis, so it's good to see one of these Filth Ballers, as he's already Spritzer was at 20 pitches when this at-bat started, or excuse me, at 22 pitches when this at-bat started, so good to see one of these Filth Baller hitters get a quality at-bat.
Big swing and a miss. It's a strikeout, and Garner's caught in a pickle. Chance for 2 here. The throw, is it in time? No, it's not. So Garner gets away with some lazy base running. He'll make it to second, but one away here for the Filth Ballers.
Yeah, that was weird. He kind of like shuffled halfway in between first and second and then got caught sleeping, but able to find a burst of speed and get in under the tag. That's a big run there if they can somehow figure out a way to put him across, as it would 3-1 sounds a lot better than 3-0 on the score sheet, in the dugout, and in your mind, confidence-wise. So it would be huge here if the Filth Ballers can even get one. If you're the Filth Ballers, you're not thinking, I need all of them here. You're just thinking 1 or 2 here, and we're going to be good. We're going to be completely fine.
It's the right fielder, Max Myers, up to bat, and the count sits 1-1. Myers on the season, 194 average, only 6 hits, but 3 singles, 3 doubles. So if he makes contact and it is in play, it's a chance for extra bases for Myers. He's also got 5 RBIs, and the issue with Myers is kind of that strikeout to walk ratio. That's kind of one of the numbers we look at when we look at patient hitters. He's only drawn 2 walks this season. He's struck out 11 times. As here's a 2-1. It's in there for a strike. So another 2-2 count upcoming. Spreitzer got Hillis with a strikeout. Can he do the same with Myers? Swing and a miss. Just kidding. There's a strikeout looking. And it'll send Myers to the dugout with 2 outs. And it'll bring up Jacob Martin, bottom of the order.
The answer to the question was yes, he can punch him out. Looking, it was maybe looked a bit outside from up here, but home plate umpire gives him the call on the outside part of the plate.
Yeah, just totally my fault. I was so ready to say swing and a miss that I just got ahead of myself there. As this one's lifted deep into right field, it's going to fall, and Garner will score. So a 2-out run makes it 3-1. And Jacob Martin from the bottom of the lineup punches home Garner and cuts the lead to 2.
Yeah, that's a huge, huge piece of hitting there from Martin, especially sitting there in the 10 spot. But some good piece of hitting there. Just shot it over the right fielder's head and easily gets into second. Now a 3-1 game. Filth Ballers get one of those runs back, which is huge for the dugout and for your confidence going forward.
And just Martin's 3rd hit of the season. Before that, he had a 1 single and 1 triple. So it's his first double as well, and it scores 1. Only his 2nd RBI for Jacob Martin, who's at second base with 2 away. 3-1 the scoreline. It's top of the order, Peyton Larson at the plate. He'll watch it for strike 2, so it's 0-2. There's the swing and a miss for strike 3. And so Spreitzer will give up 1, but it's still a 2-run lead for the Red Raiders. Coming up for the Red Raiders, it's Calhoun, Hayes, and Shanez when we return here on the Corn Belt League Network. Back in the top of the 4th inning, and it's a 2-run lead now for the Red Raiders. Calhoun, Hayes, and Shanez up for the Omaha Red Raiders. And Calhoun last time up in the 2nd inning, he scored a run after reaching on a walk. He stole second, advanced to third on a wild pitch, and then advanced to home on a wild pitch as well. He'll look to replicate that here to try and build back a 3-run lead for this Red Raiders side. Pitch finds that inside corner. And Calhoun not happy with that call. Kind of drawing a little bit of a line there to the umpire. He's lucky he didn't get any pushback from the umpire on that little action that he did, as it's a 1-1. Low for 2-1. Here's a 2-1 to Calhoun. Just inside. 3-1 count now for Calhoun. Neeson had a pretty good outing in the 3rd inning. Looks to replicate it here in the 4th, as this one's high into shallow left. Hillis calling everybody off, and he'll make the catch for the first out of the inning.
That's some good heads-up fielding there from Hillis. Shortstop, obviously the captain of the infield. If any time there's a ball in the infield and the shortstop calls it, he automatically is the, I don't know, I'm blanking on the word to call it, but anytime the shortstop calls the ball in the infield, you gotta back off as any of the other infielders. But him there, he noticed that his third baseman was starting to drift a little bit towards the ball and able to call it off. As there's another good piece of pitching there from Hillis. He saw that Hayes was about to bunt and just threw a ball high. Balls that are high and inside are the ones that are most likely to be popped up, and that's exactly what happened right there.
Yeah, Neeson is able to pop it up, and good heads-up play there from Nino to get up and catch that one for the 2nd out. So really quickly, you've seen 2 outs from Neeson, and it'll bring up Shanez. First pitch low for 1-0.
We're trying to run like a really good screen here.
Yeah.
Neeson steps into the 1-0. Against Shanez. Big cut from Shanez, and it's a strike for 1-1. Shanez absolutely whiffed on that one. He kind of threw out a golf swing there at that pitch that was low and well inside. Another pitch, this one low. Good moving on that slider there from Neeson's, coming across the plate from right to left. Fouled back by Shanez. 2-2 coming up with 2 away. And it's a 2-run lead for the Red Raiders. Here's the 2-2. Neeson with a chance to put away the Red Raiders in efficient fashion. Instead, it's low. Full count coming up for Neeson. Last time up, Shanez walked, eventually ended up scoring a run. He'll foul this one. It's right over the heads of everybody in the Red Raiders dugout. Good work, good awareness from everyone there to duck out of the way. Mache, Weiss, both in danger there, and they get out of that one unscathed.
Hot shot over to the dugout. Got to be careful over there for the Red Raiders.
This one chopped. It's to third base. It's going to die out. A chance for a play to be made. It's going to be close, and it's going to run long. Shanez is going to run back to first, actually. He won't take the risk and go to second. And so another error.
Not going to call that one a hit, I believe. That's a tough play over there at third if you're Rivers. Just died on the infield. Had to make his best attempt. Had to just fire something over quickly. Luckily for him, runner just stays at first, not risking trying to advance to second. But nothing hurt if you're Rivers, still 2 down, but just got to try and continue to keep up whatever you can do defensively.
Pitch well inside. Mache says he got hit, and he did. So runners on first and second with 2 outs. Going to bring up Weiss, the extra hitter. Last time up, he walked and was left stranded.
Northwest Missouri State University, number 12, Connor Weiss.
Connor Weiss from Northwest Missouri State University.
Got to be careful here. If you're the Filth Ballers, after Weiss, it's the top of the order. And if the top of the order comes up, most likely going to be bases loaded or runners in scoring position. So got to be careful here, as just got one of those runs back in the bottom half of the third, trying to keep the deficit as close as you can.
Yeah, Neeson has done well, just got kind of unlucky there with that infield hit and the hit by pitch, as this one's fouled straight back into the fence for a 1-1 count.
Runner from second, absolutely flying in that pitch. Shanez was most likely going to make it if Weiss didn't put a bat on that ball. Had a great jump over there at second, but fouled off, has to return to second.
I mean, we've rehashed this point over and over again today, Mike, but it's aggressive base running from the Red Raiders, and this game, it has worked out well for them. Pitch low. It'll dribble out in front of Nino, but it'll hold up the runners on first and second. It's a 2-1 count. Two away for Neeson. He just needs to get one more out. He's got to force out on every base in the outfield. Another pitch low. 3-1 upcoming. This one chopped to the shortstop. Hillis will make the play. Throw over to first is low. It's picked up, and it's an out. So good work from Neeson. Had runners on first and second, forces a short hop over to the shortstop, Hillis, who makes up for his earlier mistakes with that good play. And we'll head to the bottom of the fourth inning. The Filth Ballers a chance to keep clawing at this lead. They've got 2 runs to make up when we return on the Corn Belt League Network. Back here at bottom of the fourth inning between the Red Raiders and the Filth Ballers, and a chance to claw back here for the Filth Ballers. As it's Burnett up. First pitch low. Burnett, the designated hitter for today. fouled well behind us for a 1-on-1 count.
As Ethan has said all year, we're still looking to catch one up here in the press box. We just need something like that, just a little less power on it, just something that pops right over the fence here and just comes. I mean, obviously it would hopefully not break the window, but we're hoping to catch something at some point.
Another pitch fouled on for a 1-2 count. That one, as you saw there with that angle, just hit off that inside knee of Burnett. He'll have to walk that one off a little bit. As he'll return to the batter's box with a 1-2 count. Filth Ballers still down 2. Swung on into deep right field, but a good catch there from Hayes. Positioned himself perfectly. First out of the inning is Burnett out to right field, and it'll bring up Matthew Rivers, the third baseman.
Now batting, the third baseman from DMAC, number 48, Matthew Rivers.
Rivers from Des Moines Area Community College. Just about 2.5 hours east of here. Big cut from Rivers, and he'll miss for strike 1. Another big cut from Rivers. This one well foul on the first base side.
It's a bit late on it, but plenty of power there still from Rivers as that one hit the tree that's near the parking lot here at Seymour Smith. So got to be careful if he gets a hold of one.
Yeah, Rivers sits low in his stance, and he'll get another one foul. You see it kind of there when they show that angle of him stepping into the batter's box. He sits low. He'll put a lot of weight on that back foot and then use his hip movement to kind of pull a bunch of power into every single swing. As you see it there again, he just squats low and gets good contact. Another big cut from Rivers. This one fouled straight back. And you know he was close on that one. When those balls go straight back, you know you're just a little bit low on your placement.
He's waiting on one. He's trying. You can tell he really wants to put a bat on the ball and get on base here.
That one, another foul ball, just staying alive. He'll have to take a few steps and walk it off.
That's 5 foul balls, I believe, now in this at bat. So he's really looking to. I keep blanking on all of these. He's trying to get a bat on the ball, and he's trying to make contact, and he's itching for a hit. That's what Matthew Rivers is.
As is the goal of baseball. That's the first time he's took a pitch this at bat, and it's for a ball for 1-2.
That's the 6th pitch of the at bat. It's the first ball of the at bat. That's how much he wants to get on base here. He just really wants to try and. Ooh.
And he'll watch that one in for strike 3. So after 5 consecutive swings, he takes 2 pitches, 1 for a ball and 1 for a called third strike. And it'll bring up Anthony Nino. Last time up, he had a well-hit ball into right field that Hayes tracked really well and got under. The cleanup batter, also the catcher.
Sorry. Going back to that last at bat, should not feel ashamed at all if you're Rivers. Drove his pitch count up. You were really aggressive in the box, just didn't go your way. But that's a good sign, though, if you're a Filth Baller, part of the staff or just part of the dugout. Seeing guys be aggressive at the plate, that's always something you love to see.
2 away here in the 4th. Another big cut there from Nino. Swinging for the fences and comes up empty for a 1-1 count. That one low for 2-1. Here's the 2-1. Good contact from Nino, but it's into center field, and making the catch is Calhoun. Tracked it over to his right, and that'll be the end of the 4th inning. 3-1 the score, still a 2-run lead for the Red Raiders, and we'll have the top of the 5th when we return here on the Corn Belt League Network. back here in the Corn Belt League booth. Myself, Mike Knockenhauer, Ryan Kelly, Jackson, Ethan back there as well, and Connor Shelton, all of us saying hello from the booth. And we've got a good game on our hands, Mike. It's been a good top of the second inning for the Red Raiders. The Filth Ballers got one back in the bottom of the third. What are you looking here in the coming innings, whether it's either side, whether it's the Red Raiders looking to extend their lead or it's the Filth Ballers looking to claw back? What do you want to see from both sides?
I just want Eden Neeson to try and settle in. It seems like early in innings he's been a little uncomfortable there with his control, and I'm looking to see him be more comfortable with his control. Just trying anything he can do, keep this lead at just 2. And then the Filth Ballers, I liked what I saw out of their hitters last inning. Maybe a bit too aggressive, if that's a thing. They were swinging almost out of their shoes, but good contact, able to fight off a lot of pitches. But if you're the Filth Ballers offense, I'm looking try and calmly, calm power, I think is the way I would put it. But on the Red Raiders side, just continue to do what you do. Spreitzers looked great, but the offense, outside of putting guys on, they just haven't been able to capitalize with runners in scoring position. So if they can continue to put guys on base, but then capitalize on those by putting bats on balls and forcing the Filth Ballers to make mistakes defensively, I think that'll spell victory for them here in this first game of our doubleheader.
First pitch in there, high for a ball. For the Red Raiders, it's Schubert up to bat. Another one high, 2-0.
Got to be careful. 1, 2, 3 coming up for the Red Raiders. Like once again, as we said, this Red Raiders top of the lineup can be very dangerous.
This one right back up the gap. Is it going to get through? Backhanded play. Dane Garner, what a play from second base to get the first out of the inning.
Dane Garner, what an absolute amazing play. That one, a little dribbler up the middle, just backhands it, turns, fires to first, and gets Schubert. That's a great play defensively, and something I think that the Filth Ballers definitely needed, as we've seen a lot of those not go their way, a lot of infield hits, a lot of infield errors, but that's a great play there over at second base by Garner, and a great start to the top of the 5th here.
Another one to Garner. He'll take this one and fire over to first in time. So Garner's got 2 infield assists to start off the top of the 5th inning, excuse me. It's been all Garner, 4-3, 4-3. 2 quick outs for Neeson, and it'll bring up Braden Jackson.
Good play there from Garner, but honestly, maybe was a little too comfortable, a little too lenient on that one. Spees almost hustled that one out, but still able to fire over to first, and it's been a great inning thus far from the Filth Ballers on defense.
And from the Filth Ballers on defense, it might as well just be Dane Garner on defense. Those 2 plays, I mean, the backhand, incredible, and then another routine play right to second. Was kind of toying with that one. He kind of let that one come to him instead of going after it.
Got to be careful, man. Blair Spees is one of the fastest guys in this league. And he was showing it off there, nearly beating out the infield dribbler. But still, Garner able to, as here we go again.
Can we get all 3 from Dane Garner? Yes, we can. 1, 2, 3, top of the lineup, all of them running through Dane Garner. Number 23 on the Filth Ballers, the second baseman, gets all 3 outs in the inning and no runs for the Red Raiders. It'll be the Filth Ballers when we return. Brandt, Bantam, Garner coming up in the bottom of the 5th inning. Back here at J.J. Isaacson Field, Tristan Brandt, the first baseman, up to bat for the Filth Ballers as they still sit down 2, looking to claw their way back into this one. Brandt's got 7 RBIs on the season, as this one awkward bounces over to second, but the play is there, and it's made in time by Jackson for the first out of the inning. Spreitzer has been looking good, been looking confident as he heads into the bottom of the 5th.
Now batting, the extra hitter.
Only giving up 1 hit today as well. And it'll bring up Corey Bantam. Bantamless one. It's high into foul territory, but it's going to run out of play. So it'll be a 0-1 count for Spreitzer against Bantam. Bantam the extra hitter for today as Corn Belt League games. You've got 10 hitters on your lineup, a designated hitter, as well as the extra hitter. Bantam rips this one into right field. It's right over, and Hayes is able to track it down for out number 2.
These Filth Ballers hitters are starting to make a lot better contact, but it's just been right to defenders, as seen thus far, as a little bouncer to second, and then that was an absolute barrel, but lined right to the right fielder. But it's good to see the Filth Ballers starting to make more contact, especially if they can keep this close going into the last 2 innings.
Garner check swing, but it's a strike anyways. He'll look at a pitch outside and away. Garner just had all 3 outs in the top of the 5th inning. All 3 infield assists. And he'll lift this one deep into left center. Tracking it is Calhoun, and he'll make the catch. Good piece of hitting, like you said, Mike. The Filth Ballers got bats to balls, just couldn't get it into fair play. And it's 3 up, 3 down for the Filth Ballers. Top of the 6th coming up when we return here on the Corn Belt League Network.
Welcome you back here on the Corn Belt League Network. Through 5 innings, it's a 3-1 Red Raiders lead. New pitcher now for the Filth Ballers, Cooper McCoy, in his first appearance on the year on the bump, usually hitting, but here he is making an appearance along with, he's going to go against a pinch hitter now for the Red Raiders and Ty Poor. But interesting to see what these last 2 innings of play hold, as it's been a pretty decent game from the Filth Ballers. Obviously a lot of walks, a lot of base runners given up, but other than 3 runs in the second, it's been pretty clean game. Only 2 hits combined between these two teams. But a lot to unfold here as we head to the top of the 6th now, as you see.
Bat for the Red Raiders. On the season, he's 143 on the average, only has 3 hits, 2 singles, 1 double. 3 RBIs, 3 runs scored, has been hit by 2 pitches, and has walked 9 times, struck out 5 times. First pitch from McCoy, it's laced right to Garner. It's the 4th consecutive infield out for Garner, as a line out goes right to Dane Garner in second. And it'll bring up Brisboy.
The catcher, Florida State University, number 10, Dylan Brisboy.
Brisboy up. Dane Garner has made the last 4 consecutive outs for this Filth Ballers defense. Can he make it 5? As Brisboy is up to bat. First pitch in there for a strike.
As you said, Garner with 4 consecutive putouts. It's been, 4 consecutive putouts also means 4 consecutive outs. So this Filth Ballers defense has really shown up. The pitching staff's been a lot better. So it's been good to see the second baseman get some love over there. So
there he is, Dane Garner from Concordia University, Nebraska. But another local product played at Miller North High School. And here's the 1-1. Down low from McCoy, so it's 1-2. Excuse me, 2-1. So 2 more chances here for the Filth Ballers after this half inning. Try and come back. Get a couple runs here when they go up to bat. Otherwise, it's going to be the Red Raiders' victory as they lead 3-1 here in the top of the 6th. This one up the gap to Hillis at short. Take a couple steps. Does he get there in time? Yes, it does. Big out there from Hillis. 6-3 means it's 6 consecutive putouts for this Filth Ballers defense. 4 of them from Dane Garner, 2 of them from Hillis. And it'll bring up number 1, Chris Calhoun, for this Red Raiders side to try and get on base with 2 away.
yeah, make it 6 consecutive putouts for the middle infielders. So Hillis, it seems like he needs to be a little more quick with his release, but still nonetheless able to throw it over there for the out, and 6 consecutive ground outs for this Red Raiders offense and 6 consecutive putouts for the shortstop and second baseman of the Filth Ballers, as Hillis and Garner able to really step it up defensively.
Count will sit at 2-1 here for Calhoun. Chris Calhoun has scored a run in the second inning. He was part of that 3 runs in the top of the second. That's been the main difference in this game, as he kind of chops this one over to first, and it's going to be easy for Brant in the end to jog over and step on the bag. It's 7 consecutive putouts for the infield of the Filth Ballers. And we'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning here. Filth Ballers looking to claw back, and their final chances at bat coming up. We'll be right back. back in the bottom of the 6th inning as the Filth Ballers are still down 2 runs. It's been that way since the bottom of the 3rd. And as always, if you come to one of these games in person, you can see our ever-famous merch tent down there. You can get your jerseys, get your hats, get all of your Corn Belt League-related merch down there at the tent. Coming up for the Filth Ballers in the bottom of the 6th inning, it's Hillis, Myers, and Martin. So bottom of the order, 8, 9, and 10 due up. But it's Martin who has the RBI for this Filth Ballers side. He hit that one in the 3rd inning to score Dane Garner. It's a name we've said a lot tonight, whether it's on the offensive or defensive side of the ball. Dane Garner's had an excellent game, although the Filth Ballers just had that one bad half inning that could lead to the Red Raiders' victory.
Sprites are only with 59 pitches through 5 innings of work, so really been able to monitor his pitch count, kind of keep these at-bats short, and his work has been exceptional here this afternoon.
Yeah, only allowed 2 base runners in this whole game. He gave up the error to Dane Garner, who then stole second on an awkward play there where Spreitzer struck out Hillis, and then Dane Garner looked like he was going to get caught in a pickle, but then got slipped under the tag of the second baseman. That eventually led to the one Filth Ballers run.
It's been a good mix between contact and swing and miss and strikeouts. So it's 5 strikeouts, but it's also been a lot of balls on the ground and in the air that have been able to be putouts for the Red Raiders.
Ball looked in by Hillis for the first strike of the at-bat, 3-1 the count. This one a chopper foul. It'll bring up a full count for Hillis and Spreitzer. Like you said, Spreitzer's been the pitcher for this entire game into the 6th inning, and through 5 complete innings, only given up 1 hit, 1 run, 1 error by the Red Raiders defense. Is that pitch over the head of Hillis, and Hillis will head over to first base. Just the 3rd base runner of the day for the Filth Ballers.
Great start there from Hillis. Just a 6-pitch walk he was able to draw. And a leadoff base runner here for the Filth Ballers. Tying run coming to the plate in the right fielder Myers.
First pitch is low for ball 1. Myers last time up, a strikeout looking. He just kind of watched one in. He thought he was going to go low. Instead, it just hung in the zone there from Spreitzer. As here's the 1-0. Big rip from Myers, but it's foul. So 1-1 will be the count. That's one thing Spreitzer has done, sorry, Mike, that even when he does fall behind in counts, it's only 1-0. And then he'll get that strike back. It'll be 1-1, and then from there, it's smooth operating for Spreitzer. That's what he's done so well today, and that's what's allowed him to keep that pitch count so low.
Yeah, even with that last at-bat to Hillis, it was 3-0. Ended up walking him, but not before he brought the count back full at 3-2. But Myers, he was just a little bit early on that one, but just a little bit later on that one, and it's down the line. Most likely scores Hillis from first, and it could have done a lot of damage. So sigh of relief if you're Spreitzer.
Here's the 2-1. It's in there for strike 2. 2-2 with a runner on first, no one out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Filth Ballers still down 2. But it's been some good pitching from both sides in these last couple of innings that's kept it that way. Hillis moving around there at first, and Spreitzer will step off the mound to go take a look back at him. And we'll reset here with the 2-2. Looking to put away Myers again. It's high. Did he go? No, he did not. So Myers will live to fight another day.
They're going to say he went.
That's a late call there from the umpire. But they're going to say he went, so it's another strikeout. This time a strikeout swinging, and the second strikeout of the game for Myers.
That's just a tough break if you're Myers. Tried to hold up, but just couldn't. It's the first out of the inning.
Yeah, once that momentum gets going, it's hard to stop, especially on a pitch that's high up in the zone. Runner goes. A good throw. Is it there in time? Yes, it is. The put out from Brisboy over to Jackson, and it's the second out of the inning. A caught stealing for the Filth Ballers.
Yeah, Hillis over there looked like he slipped trying to get a jump, just lost his footing, and that ended up being the difference as he just gets nailed down there at second, and all that momentum that seems like it was brewing for the Filth Ballers has kind of just been erased really quickly. So a lot of good pieces of their defense from the Red Raiders, able to stay calm, collected, and get back in control.
Gonna bring up Jacob Martin. He is the lone hit for the Filth Ballers today, a double that also scored Dane Garner. And now the count is 1-2. Here's the 1-2 with 2 outs. It's high for 2-2. Big swing and a miss for strike 3. It's in the ground. And the play will be made at first, so another strikeout back-to-back to end the inning for Spreitzer. And we'll head to the 7th inning. The Red Raiders will look to add some insurance when we return in the top of the 7th inning on the Corn Belt League Network.
Welcome you back here for the final frame of action here from Seymour Smith Park. Red Raiders still hold that 3-1 lead. Owen DeLong to lead things off here for the Red Raiders here in the top of the 7th.
Owen DeLong coming in for the right fielder, Hayes. Hayes had a pretty busy day out there in right field. Filth Ballers hitters getting good pieces of contact, but they're just right to him, a couple steps over from him. As McCoy looks to hold the Red Raiders to a 2-run lead. Count sits 1-1 in the top of the 7th. Check swing there from DeLong. It's a 2-1 count. Three and 1 now from McCoy. That one's in there for a strike. It'll be a full count here for DeLong. Chopper to short. Hillis closing down on it. Throw over to first is there in time. Another good play from Hillis. He's really settled down since that first error.
That's a great play there from Hillis. Got the ball out a lot quicker than he has, and he needed to, as just a little quick scoop, one motion, throws over to first for the first out of the inning. Great play there from Hillis over there at short.
Chopper right back up the gap. Garner closing in on the backhand. The ball took a bounce off the bag, and Garner's throw is well wide. And running over to second is Shanez. So Garner, who had done so well defensively, the ball takes an awkward hop off the bag. Garner still fielded it cleanly, but then the throw across his body well wide of first. And it's a runner on second due to an error.
Yeah, that's a very, very, very tough play. That one's even harder than the one he made earlier, as that one bounced off the bag, as you said, and he was even farther across his throw, even farther across his body, just unable to fire over to first. Tough play there by baseman. Got to be careful here if you're the Filth Ballers. You cannot give anything else up with the top of your lineup coming up.
First pitch outside.
Top of your lineup coming up in the bottom half of the seventh. 2-run deficit. Definitely want to keep it there if you can.
Only one away so far with the runner on second in Shanez. This is Mache. Big cut from Mache. It's foul. Mache has reached base both times he's been up. First on the walk and then on the hit by pitch. Looking to make it a 3-for-3 day. But the count right now sits 0-2. This one well outside. Good stab there from Nino to get his glove on it.
What is this? Why is my chunky self on the screen?
Here's the 1-2 from McCoy.
What is this? What is this?
There it is. Strike three looking for McCoy. His first strikeout of the outing, and he gets Mache looking. It'll bring up the 10th hitter in the lineup in Weiss. First pitch outside for ball. Big swing and a miss there. For strike number 2, the count sits now 1-2. This one hit to Dane Garner at second, and it's over for the final out of the top of the 7th inning.
Dane Garner, another great play over there at second. Continues a great defensive night from him, but last chance for the Filth Ballers, 3 outs. They're down 3-1, looking to come back in this one.
We're back here at the Corn Belt League booth here at J.J. Isaacson Field, and well, it's a party over to my right, but I'm just sitting here enjoying the weather, enjoying the views, enjoying some good baseball.
I don't know what's going on up here. I'm very confused on whatever's going on behind me, but we still have some baseball to play. 3 outs left now for the Filth Ballers. Top of the lineup coming up now for the Filth Ballers, looking to try and extend or win it on a walk-off.
It's Larson, Burnett, and Rivers. A lot of big power hitters for this Filth Ballers team up top. And they'll look to try and put some runs on the board here in this finishing moments of this game. Sprites are still on the mound for the Red Raiders. Pitch inside. It's a 3-0 count now for Spritzer.
Be huge here if the leadoff guy in the inning can get on with a walk for the Filth Ballers.
Instead, that went in there for a strike. 3-1 the count. Big cut deep center field. Calhoun closing down on it, and he'll make the catch. So the first out is Larson out to center field.
Now batting, the designated hitter from Maloney College, number 21, Carson.
They'll bring up Carson Burnett from Maloney College.
This is the big bat for the Filth Ballers. Burnett, one of the best hitters in this Corn Belt League. Guy you want up whenever you're down late in the game.
And right on cue, he delivers a big hit, but it's into shallow right center. Hayes closing down on it. And actually, that's Dylong who is in for Hayes that makes the catch. And down to their final out are the Filth Ballers.
Matthew Rivers stepping up. 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout. Absolutely has to deliver something here if he wants the Filth Ballers to stay alive in this one.
Had some really good contact. Was seeing some really good pitches there from Spritzer in his last at-bat, but then just took 2 that were in the zone for strikes. But last at-bat, I believe it was 5 consecutive swings, 5 consecutive foul balls, all of them in different directions. So he was seeing the ball well, just couldn't get that timing down perfectly. Here's the 1-0. Outside 2-0. Good eyes there from Rivers to let the first 2 by him. You know he's itching to swing. As he sets back down into that deep stance for the 2-0. 2-0 from Spritzer. There's that big swing from Rivers, and he misses for 2-1.
Yeah, guys in this situation usually tend to swing for the fences, but when you're down by 2, you got to think, and especially when you're down to your last out, you got to be thinking single, not triple, or home run. You just got to be thinking contact here because you got to remember that you're still tying run on deck.
Big cut again from Rivers and down to their last strike. Full count, 2 outs for Spritzer. This one popped up into foul territory. Closing down on it and making the catch is Schubert. And that'll be the game. Spritzer goes the complete game. 6 strikeouts, under 70 pitches thrown. And it's a 3-1 victory for the Omaha Red Raiders. They'll jump up to a record of 9-12-1. The Filth Ballers will drop to 9-11-1. And what an outing it was for Spritzer, and what an outing it was for this whole Red Raiders team. That very positive top of the second inning and just consistent defense after that.
Yeah, it was a lot of very consistent defense from the Red Raiders, along with an absolute gem of a pitching performance from Spritzer. Only 1 hit, 1 run, and it wasn't earned. Only 1 walk and 7 strikeouts, 87 pitches for 7 innings. So an absolute great outing, exceptional outing from Spritzer, and a great team win here for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, and for the Filth Ballers, it's not too negative. There's a lot of positives to draw back from this game, especially towards those later innings. They were seeing Spritzer well, getting a lot of good contact on the ball. Coach Francisco, their goal of the season at this point is to just stay healthy for the playoffs. Just get those bodies back in the dugout, and they did that today. Played a pretty clean and pretty quick game. And for the other side, and Coach Hosey and the Red Raiders, he's been happy with their offense recently, and I believe that showed today. The offense was clicking.
It absolutely did. Just a great outing. The Bats showed up. Only 3 hits combined between these two teams, so I wouldn't say the Bats necessarily showed up, but it was they found ways to score. They found ways to put the ball in play and force the Filth Ballers to make mistakes, and they did with 4 errors up on the scoreboard. So great outing, great game from the Red Raiders, and not necessarily the prettiest way to win, but a win nonetheless, and great way to get another win.
Yeah, maybe the bats didn't show up, but the base running definitely did for the Red Raiders. So many stolen bases. I believe the final count was 8 on the game. So they'll take a win away from this one against a very close team in the standings in the Filth Ballers. And we'll call it here for the first game of tonight's doubleheader on Tuesday Night Baseball. The Red Raiders win 3-1 against the Omaha Filth Ballers. And we'll have the second game of the doubleheader coming right up at 7 o'clock. We'll see you soon.